We have some major breaking news for you in special counsel Jack Smith's election interference case. According to a brand new filing, the special counsel is asking federal judge Tanya Chutkan to issue an order restricting the speech of Donald Trump when it comes to this case. Of his request, Jack Smith writes this, quote, the government's proposed order specifies that such statements would include A, statements regarding the identity, testimony, or credibility of prospective witnesses, and B, statements about any party, witness, attorney, court, personnel, or potential jurors that are disparaging and inflammatory or intimidating. Joining us to talk about all of this, we're diving through it. It's one of these days we're reading with pens and highlighters. Former federal prosecutor, host of the Justice Matters podcast, Glenn Kirshner, is here and along to do that with us. Charlie Sykes is as well, editor-at-large for The Bulwark. With me at the table, founder of the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, Paul Rieckhoff, and MSNBC legal analyst Lisa Rubin is here again to wade through this filing with us. So I guess, Lisa, my first question for you is, one, it was always going to come to this, wasn't it? And B, is this basically Jack Smith asking Judge Chutkan to gag Trump?
He is. That's exactly what's going on. And he goes not only through Trump's history of intimidating Nicole, witnesses and others, not only right after the 2020 election, but then through the present day. And there is detail about social media posts, about the judge herself, about Washingtonians and how Washingtonians are going to be prejudiced against him, about lawyers at the Office of Special Counsel, about Biden, and then about individual witnesses, including Bill Barr. And they go through that history to basically say to her, don't sanction him, gag him.
And that is to preserve the potential for a fair trial.
That's exactly right. Basically, they're saying, he doesn't know this, but we're doing this for him. But they're also doing it for themselves. They're trying to ensure that any trial in which Trump is convicted is one that's immune from appeal on the basis that he didn't get a fair shake. And they know that he's doing everything that he can to corrode justice in the District of D.C.
We started the last hour with this sort of acknowledgement that we don't hear much from Jack Smith, so we're left to try to deduce how he sees his case and how he sees his defendant through the filings. This is the most stark description of it. Let me read some of this. This is from the background section. As set forth in the indictment, after Election Day in 2020, the defendant, that's Donald Trump, launched a disinformation campaign in which he publicly and widely broadcast knowingly false claims that there had been an outcome determinative fraud in the presidential election and that he had actually won. In service of his criminal conspiracies through false public statements, the defendant sought to erode public faith in the administration of the election and to intimidate individuals who refuted his lies. The defendant is now attempting to do the same thing in this criminal case, to undermine confidence in the criminal justice system and prejudice the jury pool through disparaging and inflammatory attacks on the citizens of this district, the court, prosecutors, and prospective witnesses. The defendant, Donald Trump's conduct presents a, quote, substantial likelihood of material prejudice to these proceedings, and the court can and should take steps to restrict such harmful extrajudicial statements.
Yeah, and Nicole, they're not just trying to prevent harm to the jury process. They're very clear that there's a danger to individual people going on here, too. And they quote the fact that a woman in Texas was arrested, for example, for calling Judge Chutkan's chambers and making a direct threat to her. They also accused Donald Trump of lying, and that's the word that they use, a knowing lie to the contrary, when they talk about a meeting that Jay Bratt had with a military official at the White House. The insinuation that Donald Trump made on social media was that there was some sort of improper meeting between the Office of the Special Counsel and the Biden administration, proving that they were colluding against him. They say that's not what happened at all. The Office of the Special Counsel had a routine investigative interview of a career military official at that official's duty station, the White House. In other words, Donald Trump is perverting the facts here in order not only to corrupt this trial, but to endanger people who are intrinsic to the justice that we are trying to do.